Days Gone is a zombie apocalypse open world action game from Sony Bend Studios. In it, we play as Deacon St. John, an Afghanistan war veteran, biker, and post apocalyptic mercenary. During the cutscenes, the graphics are absolutely 5 stars, most of the time. In at least one occasion, the textures didn't show up for a fairly important and emotional scene. In play, while there are occasional frame rate drops, otherwise the graphics are a solid 4 stars. As for gameplay, the melee combat is satisfying. The weapons have weight and hit with the absolutely perfect thunk. Unfortunately, there's a dead zone after a weapon swing in which you can't go back into stealth if you need to for almost a full second. I give the melee combat 4.5 stars. Ranged combat is nearly perfect. There's just a bit too much weapon sway for long-range combat to feel quite what it should be. Mid and close-range combat fare much better. This is also 4.5 stars. Stealth in the game feels great. There is, however, a small bug that occasionally pops up which can cause the stealth mechanic to stop working. The stealth mechanic, when it works perfectly, will feel familiar to anyone who's played Horizon Zero Dawn. It's virtually identical. Incidentally, the small bug is one where hiding in grass stops working and the enemies seem to become hyper aware of you so that you can't sneak past them, behind them, or anything like that. This, however, only happened to me exactly 3 times in roughly a 70-hour playthrough, so it's not a common bug, but it is there to be aware of. 4.5 stars. The motorcycle starts off terrible, but gets much better as you upgrade it. This is entirely intentional and is intended to give the motorcycle upgrades value. 4 stars. Unfortunately, the game also includes motorcycle combat sequences which are much less successful. I didn't like the motorcycle combat sequences at all, and I give them 2 stars. The game also includes sequences of tracking and exploration. Both are done in a satisfactory way, but neither is excellent. It's largely things you've seen before in games like the Batman Arkham series and The Witcher. It's that Batman sense, Witcher sense, Joel hyper hearing vision thing that he has in The Last of Us. It's stuff you've seen before. It's handled as well as it can be, but it isn't a standout. 3 stars. Much less satisfying are the story sequences where you walk or ride from one place to another in conversation with someone. These are non-skippable and could easily have been handled in cutscenes. What's worse is they are often bookended by actual cutscenes with load screens in between them, slowing the pace of the game overall. Bottom line, if it's not gameplay, why do I have to have a controller in my hands and do something? If I'm not actually playing the game, let me put the controller down, or even better, let me skip it if I want to. 2 stars. Days Gone fills in its backstory, the romance between Deacon and his wife Sarah, in cutscenes, walk-and-talks, and ride-and-talk sequences. We know the non-gameplay is boring, but as far as moving the story along, the romance is not just compelling, but works as the engine that moves the entire story forward. 5 stars. The main story is an epic quest to the heart. Deacon's character growth is slow to start with, but he evolves in the end. There are compelling mysteries and good surprises along the way. I give the story 5 stars. The main ending is satisfying and emotional, also 5 stars. The game has a secret after-credits ending that feels like a tacked-on gotcha ending from a B-horror movie. I give it 3 stars. It has good shock value, but doesn't make very much sense if you think too hard about it. The voice acting throughout the story, however, is as good as it gets in gaming. Another 5 stars. Days Gone has great music, especially the music that cues you to let you know just how much danger you're currently in. Being near a horde has one sound, but being spotted by a horde has another. I give the music 4.5 stars. Now, there is a small issue with your weapons loadout. Occasionally, the game pulls you from one mission directly into another with no chance to change your weapons loadout. This can force you to take on a horde with a weapon set meant for stealthing against a human group, or you may find yourself having to go against a group of humans with your horde fighting set when you want to stealth and you have no option but to go loud. This I give 4.5 stars. Overall, I found Days Gone to be an absolutely great game, which I had a lot of fun playing. It had its problems, but the fun certainly outweighed the bad by a great deal. Days Gone, final score, 4.5 stars.